Ladies and gentlemen, we are Group 14. Our title is How Streaming Media Can Make Our World Better. This is our group members. I'm James, Dwayne, Daniel, Addison, and Judy. Next page. Here is our outline. Number 1, introduction. Number 2, information of streaming media. Number 3, what has streaming media brought to us? Number 4, how can we utilize streaming media? Number 5, conclusion. Next page. And now I will let you more understand streaming media. What is streaming media? Compressing multimedia data and transmitting video and audio on networks is called streaming media. It's connected with our daily life. For instance, YouTube, Facebook, and even the most popular apps nowadays, Instagram. You can post whatever you want, listen to the music you like, and so on. They are all part of streaming media. Last but not least, people always confuse it with social media. Actually, streaming media is the part of it. It's limited to audio and video parts, but social media is more wider. It has more creation parts. To give you an idea, Wikipedia and some online form. Next page. How can we categorize streaming media? We have 3 parts need to clarify. Firstly, over-the-top media service, also called OTT. It's a streaming service provided directly to viewers over the internet, like YouTube and Netflix, different from traditional media such as cable, radio, or satellite TV. Secondly is music streaming. It emphasizes audio streaming, such as Spotify and Apple Music, the 2 most popular music listening apps in the world. Lastly, video streaming. It's different from traditional game consoles. It can be played directly on mobile phones, tablets, or even TVs. For example, Twitch and Steam. Next, Judy will talk about information of streaming media.
We've collected some personal opinions from a classmate, and here are some discuss and analysis from our information collected. In this technology generation, streaming media has become an indispensable thing in modern people's life without realizing it. Of course, everything has its pros and cons. Streaming media can bring convenience to our life, but it can also have a bad impact on our lives. The life of modern people is very stressful. We can use streaming media to relieve stress and enrich the daily life. From this, we can also notice about the big and small events happening around us, as well as the major international events that everyone is concerned about. People can quickly learn about the news. It is not necessary to know something through the interactions between people, but to know the things happen through the internet. But there are also many businessmen who like to use advertisements for marketing on the platform. Of course, this is beneficial for them. Next page. But it's also a trouble for users while they're using. Maybe advertisements will bring the bad impressions to the users. Next page. Modern peoples are very dependent on mobile phones, and the internet without these technical things, it will bring a lot of inconvenience to our lives, and it will become impossible to do many things. Also may lose the connection between people or become boring. But some people think that maybe without these things, it can give them more different feelings. Maybe they're used to spend too much time on streaming media and didn't enjoy life well. Without these things, they would have spent a lot of time taking carefulness to look at the real world around us. Next page. People also use many functions. Most people like to watch videos because they are interesting and it can understand the content faster than reading text. It is also necessary for modern people to pay attention to current affairs. Through the internet, you can learn about the world. It is not only limited to domestic, but also to share news with friends and update the current situation, which is also one of the ways for modern people to interact through the internet. And they also can use from work or entertainment. Multiple choice for users to decide how to make streaming media more colorful and useful. It's not only give us information, but also make people inspired. Next, Allison will talk about what has streaming media brought to us.
I'm going to talk about what has streaming media brought to us. Now I'll focus on the 2 points of the topic. First, most people think streaming media can make life more convenient. According to the research, there are some comments from the research. One person said after using streaming media, I don't watch television very often. Another person said, I can receive the information easily. And the other person said, I can know everything very convenient. Before streaming media going viral, people receive information by watching TV or reading newspapers. However, there is a lot of misinformation or political stand on TV or in the newspapers. You must to confirm the authenticity of the news. Using streaming media can not only make our life more convenient, but get information more accurate. Next page. Second, most people consider streaming media can change to a new lifestyle too. One person said, I want to spend time vlogging every day. Another person said it changed my pace of life. And the other person said because of the streaming media, I often stayed out late. Apparently, it takes people a lot of time to utilize streaming media. And it seems that streaming media has already become an indispensable part in people's daily life. However, some people are indulging in streaming media, which already have some influences on their life. Although streaming media brings convenience to our life, we have to use it efficiently and stop being a streaming media addict. And now I'd like to hand over to Daniel to tell us how can we utilize streaming media.
And now I'm going to talk about how can we utilize streaming media. Most of the people have a YouTube account. What can we do with it other than watching other people's video? First, we can leave comments under the video and communicate with other users. Not only can you let everyone know what you think, but also you can find out what other people think and discuss it with them. But sometimes you still need to pay attention to your wording. Otherwise, other users will misunderstand what you mean and cause conflict. You also need to be polite to other users. Although you think that you are using the anonymity of the network that you can say something impolite, there are still ways to find you and make you pay. And the second, we can also make a film of our own. Anything can be the subject of your film, your life, your interest, or even the movie you make. It's very hard to make a movie at first time, but when you make a movie successfully and get feedback, it will give you a great sense of accomplishment. Or you can go live on streaming media and interact with your audience. You can interact with your audience in a real time. It's perfect for chatting or having fun together. Some of my friends will record clips of their performances and upload it to YouTube. They got a lot of compliments and got some fans. and I often got streaming while I'm playing a game. I find it's interesting because I can communicate with my audience. Some viewers will learn some knowledge from me, and some will give me a little advice to improve myself. It's hard to do this thing without streaming media. And now I'm going to hand over to Dwayne. He will make conclusion for us.
Nowadays, streaming video isn't just popular, it's a part of how we live. Streaming media has a powerful impact on advertising and presents many opportunities for business to reach their target audience. During the pandemic, YouTube was one of the biggest growth engines as more people were glued to their screens while stuck at home. The video site continued its rapid expansion last year as the economy reopened and ad spending soared. The video streaming industry is turning to advertising as inflation and customer fatigue compound the headwinds facing subscription-based models. Netflix is considering on an advertising-supported tier after reporting its first subscriber losses in more than a decade. As subscriber growth continues to slow, platforms must explore alternative revenue streams to support original content creation. Next page. Whether you use streaming media to connect with friends and loved ones, watch video, or simply kill time, the popularity of this pastime has increased significantly over the last decade. This is especially the case in children and teenagers, as well as young to middle-aged adults. Like other types of behavior addictions, using too much can influence your brain in harmful ways. You may use it compulsively and excessively. You can become so accustomed to scrolling through posts, image, and video that it interferes with other areas of your life. Engaging in streaming media once in a while is unlikely to be harmful. However, there are negative effects to consider when overusing it. The downside including low self-esteem, increased isolation and loneliness, anxiety and depression. By taking frequent breaks and setting clear boundaries, we can help prevent an over-reliance on it before it becomes harmful. Nowadays, 3.6 billion people worldwide. Sorry, next page. Next page, yeah. Nowadays, 3.6 billion people worldwide are on social media. That's nearly half of globe's population. On average, we spend 144 minutes on the internet. That's 2.5 hours every day for every user. Undoubtedly, social media are a vital part of our lives. Yet some people feel it's adversely affecting our lives. At the end of the day, these platforms are only tools. How you use them defines the outcome. You use it to troll, abuse, and bully, the impact is negative. Use it to foster community, and the effect is positive. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention.